Hello, I'm out here on the Mossy Rock Trail, part of the Pacific Union College experimental forest lands, and thought I'd take a few minutes to talk a little bit about one of our plants out here. Moving on down, this is called Mossy Rock Trail because, well, as you might have guessed, there's a lot of moss on the rocks. And a lot of people don't understand, probably don't know much about moss. What you're actually looking at in the video right now is a whole patch of moss that is primarily what we would call the gametophyte generation of the moss. The leafy looking moss that you see here, and I'll get a little closer so you can see some of that. The leafy part is called the gametophyte, and then there's also some little parts, and I'm going to come over here a little closer. You see these ones sticking up, little capsules sticking up above the leafy portions. Those are actually the sporophyte generation of the moss. So there's actually two generations of moss here, the gametophyte and the sporophyte. And the difference between them is that the gametophyte generation, when it reproduces, it makes gametes. We might call them male and female gametes, although they're kind of, they really aren't defined by sex so much, but you have to put two gametes together to produce the next generation. And when two gametes that are produced by a gametophyte are joined together, they produce a new sporophyte. And the sporophyte grows essentially out of the body of the gametophyte. And so these sporophytes over here are that other generation. Now these sporophytes, they produce spores. So when they reproduce, they produce spores that land somewhere and produce more gametophytes. Now what's even more fascinating is to realize that the gametophytes have half the number of chromosomes as the sporophytes. And so if you know something about cell division, the gametophytes make their gametes by a process called mitosis. The gametes join together to form new sporophytes that grow up to produce spores, and the spores are produced by meiosis. And the spores have half the number of chromosomes, the same number of chromosomes as the gametophyte. The sporophytes actually have twice the number of chromosomes as the gametophyte. They're actually diploid. Humans are diploid, by the way. We have 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46. So in some ways, these sporophytes resemble humans a little more, at least genetically, than the gametophytes. And of course, humans have just one generation. We're diploid all the way. Ferns and mosses and lots of other plants have a gametophyte generation, which is haploid, half the number of chromosomes, and a diploid generation, which has twice the number of chromosomes as the gametophyte, the sporophyte generation. So anyway, that's our moss out here in Mossy Rock, doing quite well because of some recent rains. And that's our short botany lesson for the day. And I will continue to enjoy my walk out here. And I hope you enjoy your time as you spend at home during this breakout of COVID-19, and may you be safe.